During a daily Scrum meeting, participants sometimes exhibit negative personas that will detract from the meeting. As an empowered team, it is your job to self-manage and encourage good behavior. Some of these behaviors are so common, we don't even realize people are doing them. So I'm giving them some names. Next time you hold a daily stand-up, see if anyone exhibits any of these 10 behaviors. Let's start with Pat Decker, the obsessive phone checker. This person does not always pay attention and is constantly look at her phone. Did a BFF just like something? Did someone on Twitter just favorite that pic of the team board? In addition to checking her phone, she likes to share what she sees with others during the stand-up. She could say something like,
"Bob, check out this pic on Instagram."
She's not so loud that she's overly disruptive, but now Bob missed what someone else said during the stand-up. Stephen Craig, who is always too vague. This person can get stuck on the same task for days but doesn't want anyone to know. When speaking to the team, they are crazy vague. Stephen will offer very few details until the team pushes for a deadline. He or she will use language like, "Yesterday I was working on task 123 and today I will be working on it some more." No other information is volunteered. When asked if they need any help, they clarify they have no blockers or risks. Bobby Boehner, the team complainer. When the attention is on Bobby, get ready for the positive energy to be sucked right out of the room. Bobby complains, and complains some more. Management teammates or the technology is all fair game. Everything and everyone sucks and no one knows just how bad they have it. Don't bring up religion or politics unless you want Bobby to go right into a 20-minute tirade. Jess Jeweler, who loves the water cooler. Jess comes to the daily stand-up to talk, but not about what needs to be done today. Instead, he or she will talk about just about everything else. The next 15 minutes is dedicated to the water cooler. Did you see the last episode of House of Cards or The Walking Dead? Are you going to watch the Ravens play this weekend? My son plays Minecraft and constructed this totally awesome building with redstone. Anything is fair game as long as it's not about work. Billy Platitude with a bad attitude. Billy is a leftover from a bygone era. He was the best of the best mainframe developers and all he needs is a DLD and he'll give you what you need. In a few months. You want any changes between now and then? Forget it. He thinks all things Agile are stupid and just plays along begrudgingly. You may catch him make cynical funny comments at stand-up to point out how right he is about how stupid Agile is. Will Funky, the non-committal junkie. Will does not want to be painted into a corner. Typically he uses language like try, maybe, pretty sure, I'll get back to you, we'll see, would like to think, soon, almost. You'll also see will be the last person to comment on something and will usually go with the crowd. Tom Motter, the specialty updater. Tom only gives vague commitments, usually understandable only by those in his discipline. The overall team gains little value from the statements. If you ask him for details, he'll either tell you to look it up in a tool or he'll be very technical in his response. Half of the team doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about. Drew Grew, who thinks he's better than you, and the team. Drew has been around for a long time. He's better than you and he knows it. If you need him, you know where to find him. He either arrives to the stand-up meeting late or he doesn't come at all. He has little to say because you wouldn't understand what he's talking about. He already knows everything, so what is he to gain by slumming with you and the team for 15 minutes? Let him know when something important happens. Sarcasm. Pearl Revolver, the problem solver. Pearl means well, but she lacks a sense of time. She wants to have in-depth problem-solving discussions on obstacles identified during the stand-up meeting. She's very curious what issues others are having because she's going to want to talk it out and fix it right then and there. Even if there is a reserved 15 minutes after the stand-up, Pearl figures there is no better time than the present to tackle a challenge. Ian Crumpter, the interrupter. Do you listen or do you wait to talk? Stop and think about that. There's a difference. Ian waits to talk. People can be binary in that way. If you're talking, you're less likely to be listening. He wants to prove just how awesome he is, so you'll see him interrupt even if the topic doesn't really apply to him. This lesson is a good opportunity to reflect on how we conduct ourselves. You may realize that you have traits from a few of these fictional personas. In my case, to be honest, I've played all those roles at some point, sometimes more than one in a single meeting, but I believe it is a good reminder to see them called out and keep these misbehaviors in mind. If you are a Scrum Master, don't forget that your main role is to transform people. Use these 10 personas to coach each individual in your organization to clearly understand and embody values and principles that will enable them to thrive and be successful. You probe and lead them to opportunities where they can grow and improve. You help them discover how their contributions can affect their team and the customers they serve.